can we talk for a second? So, I don't know if you heard, but Nintendo announced something kind of important today. It might be something called their new console finally. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to sit here and talk. Oh, I was gonna get wine. That's better. If you watch my I didn't grow up with video games video or read the title, you know that I didn't grow up with video games. So I've never had this affinity with Nintendo that some people have, but I actually think that this is a good thing for Nintendo because I watched this trailer and I was really excited for it. So the fact that I don't already have this affinity with Nintendo, I think is really gonna work in their favor because it's appealing to someone that didn't grow up with their consoles. So with that, let's watch the video. So one of the biggest things I noticed with this trailer was the controller. And the controller is kind of the system's kind of the controller, but you can move it out and you switch it. One of the things that I think was very difficult for Nintendo in the past was the fact that they moved away from the traditional controller of most gaming systems. And I think that was difficult for people trying to get into gaming. I think that was difficult for people that had used the same controller for years and years and years and trying to transition out. And from the looks of this system, it looks like the controller is headed in more of a normal route, and I think that is going to be good for Nintendo as far as pulling people in that weren't necessarily into the Wii U, weren't necessarily into the original Wii, and that's a good thing. Obviously, you can use more of a traditional style controller with it, which I think is a great thing. You don't want to force people to only use one controller, in my personal opinion. I do like that you can take the two sides of the controller off, turn them to the side, and suddenly what it looks like, you have two controllers. And so it looks like the system actually might come with two controllers if that is in fact how it works, and that would be freaking awesome. My one downside to that is that when you take a little thing that's like this big and turn it this side, you suddenly have a very tiny controller. I don't know if any of you have ever played with an original 3DS before, but those things hurt your fingers after a while. So that could be a downside to it. I don't know, we'll see. Another huge thing about this trailer is that not only did they show Skyrim being played on this system, they also showed an NBA game, which is giant. The Wii U suffered severely from a lack of third-party developer games, and by putting this into the trailer, Nintendo is saying, yes, we are going to work with third-party developers. Now, the system hasn't come out yet, and they haven't actually done that, and there's still time for Nintendo to be stupid, but hopefully they have learned that they cannot lean on their first-party games alone, and they do need the help from third-party developers in order to attract an audience. One of the things that I wasn't super excited to see was that this console is going to use cartridges, and I don't know how I feel about that. My first reaction to it is sort of like, I'm not sure, but maybe there's reasons. When you think about something that's mobile that you're going to be carrying with you, chances are you're going to be saving things onto an SD card. And while SD cards have come a long way, and they're much more powerful, they're faster, they can hold a lot more space, I'm still just a little iffy on the idea of saving everything on potentially a really powerful console onto an SD card. Along those same lines, since this thing is mobile, it looks like what you're holding, this tablet thing, is the console. The fact that basically you have a tablet makes me a little bit worried about processing speed, but our phones that we carry around these days, the tablets that we carry around these days are very powerful, so it's just a minor concern. I'm really not that concerned about it, but I do think that's something that we should be thinking about. But I will say that this console is coming from Nintendo, who's the king of handheld consoles, so I can't be too worried about its processing power and the way it functions and everything else, because the 3DS and everything that came before it is phenomenal in the world of handhelds. Which brings me to, what the heck is gonna happen with the 3DS now? Anytime something like this were to come out, it would challenge the 3DS, regardless of which company decided to make it. But it's Nintendo that's making it. And so you gotta wonder, what is their future for the 3DS? Are they gonna try and phase it out altogether because the console they've got now is basically both? I mean, you essentially have two systems in one. You have one that you can take anywhere you want, and you have one that you can sit on your coffee table or wherever you keep your consoles and sit on the couch and play on the couch. Which I think, incidentally, is what a lot of people thought the Wii U would be, and it didn't turn out to be that. I think that's all. And for those of you who were wondering, I'm drinking a 2015 Cab Sauv from Black Box. It pairs especially well with hopeful trailers and the prospect of new things. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye! Ah! Oh wait, I should finish this.